Good evening, everybody. Welcome to PatFacts. Patrick here, Pat on your back, personal fitness. Sorry for the delayed start tonight. Some tech issues. Everything decided to upgrade and need new access approval at the same time. So apologize for that. So hopefully you're still able to join us again if you're not here live, even on if you're catching the recording at a later date. As always, we appreciate you tuning in whenever works best for you. So thank you for being here, for tuning in. And let us know if you're live with us or, again, on recording. Let us know in the comments and the chats. Say hello, say where you're tuning in from. As always, if you have any future topics or suggestions or questions you'd like us to cover here on PatFacts, please share those in those comments or, again, shoot me a DM if you'd rather keep things a little more personal. That's fine as well. But we're here for you. We like to, again, answer any questions or cover topics that the viewers want to see, the community want to learn a little more about. Tonight, we're really kicking off. We've kind of been edging towards this really since Thanksgiving, but we're going to get really into the steps of prepping for 2025. Hopefully, right now we've got 2024 set and kind of cleaned up and where we want it to be. And now we're really working towards that 2025 plan and goal setting so we can really get ourselves where we want to be with that. So tonight's kind of the first kind of official kickoff again with the gratitude challenge and things we've been doing. We're kind of ramping up for that, but now we're really going to head into this prep. So what we want to do tonight is think of ways to just start to think of what our goals might be for 2025. And again, if you've been with us this past year or longer, hopefully you've probably been through this before and you're working on your goal this year with a completion date of December 31, 2024. And what we like to do here, if you're new to the program, is we like to start thinking New Year's resolution or goal setting now in October, early November. Again, we kind of started with our gratitude challenge and kind of getting 2024 kind of tightened up and in check to finish the year strong. And then now really gearing up into 2025 prep. So the idea being we can goal set, we can think of theme words, which we'll talk about soon. Maybe we can create vision boards or action boards, battle boards that we'll talk about in future weeks, backup plans, contingency plans. We'll put those things in place and have some progress already started on our 2025 goal so that when January 1, 2025 hits, we're not scrambling to try to think, what am I going to do? What's my goal? Everyone else is setting resolutions. What should I do? We're already on the track for that. We've already got some momentum going and built for us, which will help us, again, have even more success as we work towards that 2025 goal. We create that momentum. We're already a couple of months ahead of all those others who, again, kind of scramble and set something maybe in the heat of the moment or being around other people, but without the footwork in place, the plan in place, the destination coordinates through your GPS, the route not being prepared, our success rate drops quite a bit. So we try to do some planning now to increase our success rate so we can work through things, hiccups, bumps in the road, and again, have a successful 2025, just like we have through 2024. So we're just going to go through a couple things tonight to kind of get the juices flowing, get the ball rolling a little bit in terms of goal setting for 2025. And then in the upcoming weeks, we're going to kind of discuss a little more of what goes into setting your goal and then actually trying to maybe narrow down to one big goal or maybe a couple of different choices that you ultimately will pick from to set up your big audacious goal for 2025. So first thing I would encourage you to do, I know we're not done yet, but look back on 2024. Again, if you've been with us, you would have set a goal this time last year, started with that momentum, completing the processes so they were in place for January 1. Again, we're already got the ball rolling. We've already got momentum building and helping us move forward. So while there's still a couple months left, let's look back on that 2024. How did you do? How was your contingency plans? How was your overall goal? How was your breaking down of the goal, the big goal, into smaller goals, and incorporating check-in points? We usually like to talk here kind of the end of 1 month going into the next month is a nice time to check in. How are the goals? How was the process? Did I get the steps done this month that I had planned when I created my big goal? Because what we want to do is start with one big goal and work our way backwards. You kind of reverse engineer. What do I need to do the day before my goal? What's the last thing I kind of need to do to really kind of finish that off? And trying to work back as much as we can to say today. What do I do today to take one step toward my goal? To get that ball rolling, to be a little bit better tomorrow than I was today. And that's ultimately our goal. So look at 2024, look at your goal, look at, again, the plans you put in place. There might be a couple by now. If you had to tweak or adjust what you were doing and what you had used, which is fine, that happens. But you may have to, again, maybe go through the first version of the plan and up until when it changed and why did it change and what changes did I make, and could I use this to get through to this year? Should I maybe skip version 1 and 2 and go right to 3 because I had more success with version 3 of my plan? It was more for me. I realized I learned a lot about myself doing 1 and 2 to make 3 to be more efficient. So maybe I can just skip right to 3 this year and I just switch last year's goal with this year's goal with next year's goal. So review again. Hopefully you've been documenting what you've been doing, your progress, your success, your bumps in the road, your lessons along the way, because now is the time to take all that and really learn from it and really almost draw a conclusion. If you think of kind of like a research paper, almost we had a hypothesis, maybe we changed it a couple times, but now we can really take that information we have and maybe draw a conclusion of how it worked for us. Maybe we know, again, more about ourselves now in terms of goal setting and maybe reward systems or check-in points or accountability partners, all these things we've kind of gone through over the past year to, again, create that good blueprint for us that we hopefully now will have in place. And if you've been with us for the last 4 years, almost be 5 in the spring, again, maybe you have these systems now that you're just plugging in your goal each year. Take this goal out, put the new goal in, and the system runs for you. And again, it may need tweaks and adjustments based on the goal, but in theory, what we're trying to do is create systems so that this goal fits in the system. It gets us there. If this work goal comes up, we can plug it into our same system because we know what works best for us. So revisit 2024, maybe 2023, 22. Again, if you've been with us or even just on your own, setting goals and trying to work through them, look back on them. Maybe think back to high school. Maybe when you set a goal to get a certain mark in a class or to complete a run. Maybe you've trained for a half marathon or a 10K in the past. What did you do to be successful? Even look back at some of those instances and times to, again, learn about yourself. And maybe what we can do is take a little bit of this goal and a little bit from this goal. And again, maybe create that really efficient system that helps us be to really increase our chances of success, which is what we're looking for. So look back 2024 and more if you have access to that, some of that information or even some of those memories, again, of maybe past goals, training goals, work goals, or maybe you were enrolled in programs and again, have results and can kind of look through and see what was working for you and then use that to build into this year's goal. Now, what the next part you can do is kind of take last year's goal and decide if it's something you want to build on. So is your 2024 goal, I say last year's because we're skipping ahead, but it's this year's goal, but 2024, look at that goal and is there a next level to that? Did you learn to speak French this year as your goal? And now you want to be better at writing French or reading and understanding French. Again, the goal could build on each other. Did you learn to run a 5K this year and want to do a 10K in 2025? Or did you do a 10 and now want to do a half marathon, which is kind of another 10 on top of that, or 11? Again, there's building blocks we can look at, or is your goal maybe completely different? Maybe you learned French last year and decided, you know what, I need to learn a little bit of Spanish for work. I need kind of a base layer of a couple of languages before I take more and a more focused approach on one language. It would better suit me to know a little bit of each language, or 2 or 3 languages maybe at work, to help communicate with customers or suppliers, things like that. Maybe you don't need to work your way up. Maybe you just need to shift kind of to the left or right a little bit and pick your goal there. Maybe your goal, again, is completely different from last year. Maybe last year your goal was to run a 10K without stopping. Maybe this year it's to build up some strength in your body to be a more efficient runner, or to maybe correct some of the maybe injuries you might have come across training to be a runner. Or again, just getting a little bit older. We're all year older than we were last year. The body needs a little bit more work and preventative maintenance to keep it working efficiently. So maybe it's more of a strength training goal this year. Maybe it's more of a nutrition goal. Maybe it's more of a time management goal. Maybe it's more of a skill. Again, you know what you are thinking of working on, and look at last year's goal. And generally, if you would have set last year's goal, you probably had something in mind of, okay, if I do A in 2024, that can lead me to B in 2025. Or maybe along this process of setting this and working on accomplishing this goal, maybe 2025's goal has sort of appeared for you as sort of, we talk about kind of a goal setting being kind of a hill climb, a mountain climb. The top of the mountain is your goal, but as you look from that mountain, you see the next mountain that's a little higher up, and that's your next goal. We're not just done now, and then we have 20, 40, 60 years to do nothing. There's always another goal. There's always a next level. So maybe on your path to solving or accomplishing this goal, maybe the next goal kind of showed up there. Maybe your next goal, again, is to help you be a little more efficient in this year's goal. Again, maybe it's something completely different. Maybe you've changed jobs, careers. Maybe you moved. And again, that could influence your goals for 2025. But take a look and see, is there a path from 2024's goal into 2025? And if so, again, what can you take from this year that you've learned about yourself and the process along the way, and incorporate that into your 2025 goal? And even if they're separate, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, that system should be there for you to take from this year, plug it into next year, put 2025's goal in there. And again, you might have to make some adjustments and some tweaks here and there, but that system should help you propel and progress towards that 2025 goal. And again, the idea being by December 31st, 25, that's our completion date. Again, if you think of it a New Year resolution, it's the whole year. It's not just the January resolution. It's not just the first 3 months resolution. It's a New Year resolution, if you think of it in those terms. So you have from January 1 till December 31st to accomplish it. And again, we're just giving ourselves a head start to get some of the kinks out of the way, to fine tune some things, to get that ball rolling for us. So we come into January 1 already with some momentum on our side, and then we can continue that as we go forward. So you can look back on 2024, track your progress, what worked, what didn't, learn from that, and decide if you want to maybe add another layer to this year's goal with next year's goal, or is it something completely different? And again, if it's layered on, you might be able to take some of the information or some of the steps, maybe some things repeat. Maybe your plan even repeats a bit. It's just maybe a level 2 of what you did last year, taking things to the next level. Maybe there's a little different adjustment to that, but maybe the plan itself is the same. We just kind of adjust our outcomes. We adjust our inputs to get different outcomes. And again, maybe we just need to take what we did, not necessarily start from scratch, but really give it an adjustment if we're really going, making a left turn this year and looking at a totally different goal for ourselves. And that's okay. That's part of it sometimes too. Next year's goal might have another layer to it for 26. Who knows? Generally, there can be a bit of a layering effect, or kind of one step after the other to our goals. But again, depends what you're looking to do. Again, maybe you see the struggle of this year's goal. Maybe next year's goal is to learn a skill that helps you be more efficient at this year's goal. And then you can progress that further the year after. Again, our failures, our roadblocks, our obstacles are typically kind of like almost like a road sign. They say that we need to learn a little something, a new skill, a new technique to be more efficient at our goal setting. So you've looked back, you've taken that information, you've decided what's going to be kind of layered up for you um, with that goal, or again, if it's something completely different. And then this may come before that step, depending, but if you know there's a layer, again, it's probably there already. If you don't think there's another step to the goal you did this year, and again, maybe that's a sign that's something going to be something completely different. But then get out your tracking book, your notepad, your phone, whatever you prefer to use. Maybe just brainstorm. Put some ideas down. What are some things I've been wanting to accomplish? What are some goals I've had on the back burner for a while? What are some things that came up this year that I thought, oh, when that came up, I thought, oh, that would be a nice goal for me to accomplish, set and accomplish for next year to further elevate myself into being that operationally fit individual to ascend to the end, to always be getting better. Again, maybe there were signs along the way of things that you could work into. Hopefully you kept track of them. And then again, you can pull that out and look to that for inspiration. Or again, just do some brainstorming, write things down as they come up. There's no right or wrong. Put those goals down. They don't have to be super specific, even at first. They will soon. But even for now, just to get the ideas out of there. Lose weight, learn a language, learn to run, get stronger, lift weights, be more healthier, spend more time in nature, drink more water, eat better, different things like that. Again, just put them down on paper. Do a big brain dump, a brainstorm, and then try to go through and narrow those down a little bit. You'll probably have a couple that are maybe some, you know what, these two pretty much the same thing. I can just change the wording and they're the same kind of goal. So we can thin some of that stuff out. Oh, you know, this one would become part of this goal, or this one isn't really a goal I can narrow down. So now let's take a time to, can we make a goal specific? Can we tailor it to us based on some of this brainstorming? And again, we don't have to get too deep into it unless you really want to. We're going to kind of cover this in upcoming weeks. But maybe it's a chance to look at it. Can I break that goal down? Could I make it specific to me? Could I find something in that goal? I want to lose weight. It's a pretty broad goal. Okay, how much weight do I want to lose? By what date? Or by what dates leading to a target goal at the end of next year? So if it's something we can break down and make kind of a SMART goal out of it, if you know that acronym, which we'll talk about next week. But basically, if you make it specific to you and something that's attainable, and again, we can break it into chunks, then maybe that goes to the next list. And we shortlist our goals, maybe top 5 kind of thing, top 10, whatever works for you, top 3, top 5, top 10. And then what we'll work on in the coming weeks is strategies to really narrow it down into that sort of one big, hairy, audacious goal for 2025. And then maybe some of those other goals become sub goals in that process. Or maybe you'll find you'll set a goal and some of those other ones will be steps along the way to this big goal. Maybe there's a relationship there or a correlation that you don't see maybe at first, but as you kind of dive a little deeper, maybe there are things that could help you along the way. Maybe you could accomplish multiple goals, but we have one big goal for the end of the year. And again, little goals along the way that we typically set. Maybe you can cross off those 2, 3, 5 kind of goals that you have narrowed down. And then in the upcoming weeks, again, we'll go over ways to really make some SMART goals, to really strategize them, to build contingency plans around them, theme words to help you stay on track, and reasoning for them. That's what we're going to talk about a little more in the next couple of weeks as well. We're going to do a goal setting night where we kind of, again, pick, maybe just 2 or 3 at first to kind of have a base layer of, and then we're going to look at the why behind it. And that might help us really narrow down our goal as well. So again, over the next couple of months, we usually try to take this right into the new year, this sort of theme of goal setting and preparing for 2025. I think last year we went into early February by the time we kind of went through I'll say modules for lack of a better word, but all our topics and getting things kind of in check and on the right path. So that's sort of the idea this year is to take it from, again, now officially, but we even last month with our gratitude challenges and speaking of gratitude and channeling our energy and things. That was, again, to help us focus on 24 and then really start to plan ahead to 2025. So now we're really kicking things into gear. So for the next week, again, just to review, look over the past year or few years, or anytime you've been setting goals, really look at what's worked, what hasn't, start to formulate that sort of plan for this upcoming year. Again, try to see if you can, if there's a layer to your goal. Does this year's goal lend itself to next year's goal? Is it a step one in a so many step process of maybe a 5-year plan that you have for yourself? Or is it something completely different? Either way is fine. Just gives you kind of an idea of where things are going to go. And that layer could just provide you with the goal itself. And if not, then again, we want to do a little brainstorming, get your book out, think of the goals you'd like to accomplish that maybe you've been setting for years. Or again, we all have multiple things we want to do, put everything down and then shortlist it a little bit. And again, you might be able to combine some or see that maybe this goal will lead me into this big goal. So I'll set this one as the big one. Maybe these couple can be my checkpoints throughout the process. And we're really starting to lay the groundwork of reverse engineering from that goal. And then the idea will be in the upcoming weeks to narrow that down. Maybe not, again, decide right away, but at least narrow it down to maybe 2 or 3 choices if you need that. And looking at, again, reasoning for goals, SMART goals. And then from there, setting that goal, picking maybe a theme word to help keep us on track, and working through that process to, again, thinking of that little snowball down the hill. If you give it a push and it starts to roll, it gains momentum and it gets bigger and bigger. The more speed it gets, it picks up more snow. We're kind of making that snowball now and getting ready to kind of drop it down the hill so that it starts to roll. So that by January 1, it's rolling. It's got a lot of speed behind it, and it's getting bigger and bigger with that momentum behind it. So it really knocks down the door January 1st and says, we're here. We've got 2 months already kind of behind this because it's something important to us and something we want to have a high success rate of at the end of 2025. So that's it for tonight, gang. Please, again, try to go through and look at some of these things. And if you haven't, again, been really working on a ton of goals this year, again, look back to a time when you had goals, maybe goals at school, at work, again, training goals, maybe some sports specific goals that a team had or you had as part of a team. There's usually some goal setting we've done or things we've wanted to accomplish that we've worked towards in the past. Again, even look towards that if you haven't been with us these last couple of years when we've kind of gone through this process. And just learn about yourself, learn what works best for you. And if you're not sure still where to go, even just start with getting out that pen and paper and jot down some goals. What are some things you've been wanting to accomplish? What are some things you strive to work towards that maybe just haven't worked out, or not sure which one to start with or where to go? Just put them down on paper. And then that would start that process of creating some clarity of where we're going to go. And then maybe you can short list and again, combine some of them that maybe are a little redundant when you kind of get looking to it. Again, short listed a little bit, and then we'll kind of go from there. So if you have been with us, if you're brand new to the program, if you're a friend who's been with us for a couple of years, shared this video with you, and please do, viewers out there. Again, don't feel intimidated or like you're behind. We're all going to go through the steps together, so you can always join in with us. And again, set ourselves up for making sure 2025 is a great year for all of us. So again, that's it for tonight, everybody. Thanks so much for being here and for tuning in. As always, again, live or recording, I appreciate the support of you being here and tuning in and making yourself better, and all the shares and likes and comments as well. I always appreciate that. You can find me on socials at POYBFit on most platforms. LinkedIn's the one where it's sort of my name, but anywhere else at POYBFit, like Pat on Your Back Fitness. You can find me there. You can find old episodes wherever you're watching this one, probably for the most part. You can find former episodes, maybe some workouts, different tips as well. And again, we'll hopefully share this with people and continue to grow our community to create a community of like-minded individuals who all want to be operationally fit. Have a great week, everyone. Stay safe, take care of yourself, and remember, always make yourself the priority that you deserve to be by striving to be operationally fit. Stay safe, take care. We'll see you next week.